Welcome. My name's Lanice McGee with Lanice Lees, and this is another episode of Self-Love Saturday. Today, guys, get ready. You do not want to miss this episode. We're going to talk about healthy relationships. Yes, we're talking about relationships, so you know this is going to be good. Grab your pen, paper, share this broadcast, and tell a friend. We'll see you soon.
Self-love is some part of my destiny, embracing who I'm made to be. I stop hating the reflection that I see, fearfully and wonderfully made. I must love me through my journey. I must love me through my pain. Living and serving, I'm growing every day. I'm a reflection of His perfection. If God loves me, that's all I see. Self-love is a part of my destiny.
Welcome. I am so glad to be here today. I'm so glad to be with the Carols today. We are just going to have so much fun. I love talking about relationships. Okay, and first, let me start off. They are a beautifully married couple, but you can be single. You can be married. It doesn't matter your current relationship status. You're going to want to listen in because we have some good questions. Someone to call it juicy, call it whatever you will, but we have some edifying information for you today. As you know, we come to you every first Saturday talking about self-love, and it's no difference today, but we're going to focus on how can a healthy relationship even help you develop self-love. So let's get right into this. Now, I'm excited that you guys are here, but let them know who you are and why you are. So tell them a little bit about yourself.
Okay, great. Well, I happen to be Yasmina Carroll. Married now for 13 years.
That is correct.
It's so exciting. No. But however, we are I'm just a woman that most definitely I love relationships. I have been through a lot of different things, Terrell and I, throughout this path. But however, I am also Yaz, the wife coach. I enjoy helping people find solutions to their relationship issues and problems and doing my best to assist them throughout those journeys when relationships come into situations where they are hectic. And the topic today is most definitely, it's proper. It should be that way because self-love is most definitely involved in those hashtag relationship goals. So I'm just here today and I'm just ready to answer these questions to be able to support you and your relationship by sharing some of our relationship things.
Tell us just a little bit more.
And as for me, it's quite simple. I'm Terrell Carroll, and we really just two people that decided to put the time, energy, and effort in to get to where we wanted to get to. And we still fighting for this thing, but so far it's been a beautiful ride.
That's beautiful. I love the fact that you said you decided. It was a decision to fight and to continue to go, and you still are doing it. And that is so important. In any relationship, you have to still decide every day to be a part of it, to be not to just be in it, but be a part of the relationship. So that's a little bit about you personally. Can you tell us a little bit about your love journey, how you guys met and things of that nature?
Oh my God.
You're not
going to believe us back. So actually, Terrell and I formally met as kids. We actually attended the same elementary school. Wow. And as time went on, we ended up catching up with each other in our young adult life. So it was one night. I'm gonna be honest, y'all. I was praising God, and I was into following what God was leading me to do in during this time when Terrell and I reconnected. And so, a friend of mine, they were calling me, asking me to come out to a club. So I'm like, well, no, I don't really want to go, you know. But at that time, I had 2 small children.
You remember
but
the name of it?
El Babaloo's. So El Babaloo. So they're like, come. So I'm like, well, I'll have my babies here tonight. Maybe I'll just go. So I went, jumped in the car. Well, got dressed, jumped in the car, and headed towards El Babaloo's. Terrell, he'll tell you his side of the story. But however, I got there, couldn't get in. So I'm at the door and I'm calling my friends on my cell phone, like, hey, I'm here. Where are you? I can't find you. So, and as a matter of fact, I was told that I couldn't get in. So I went back to the car and I said, look, they won't let me in. And so I'm like, well, I'll just try one more time. And this is it. I'm going home. And so on that second time, they let me in. And to my surprise, I couldn't really remember him, but I remembered his face. So by my surprise, he was sitting at a table by himself when I walked in.
I definitely don't remember that part of the story, but we always have this situation.
I do. Go ahead, baby. You go
I don't
next.
mean to interrupt you. Go ahead and finish your story, baby.
So we walked in, and I walked in, and then he was sitting there, and we kind of had a little bit of just conversation, small talk. I wasn't looking to date him or anything. He just was a familiar face. And so what was your side of the story? How did it go for you?
Are we going all the way in details?
Not too detailed, but
It's a light touch right now.
It's a
Okay,
light.
just a light touch. So long story short, that's basically what happened. It's a few little things that she kind of pushed to her way to make it sound real smooth. But I wasn't supposed to be there that night, and she wasn't supposed to be there that night. And look at us here, almost 20 years later. So that ain't nothing but God. So
when you seen her, when you met up with her, well, y'all weren't meeting, but we happened to see her there. Did you kind of have like, yeah, I'm going to pursue this right away?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, at that time, at that point in my life, I was in the bars, in the clubs, you know, so I definitely was going to get her number, which I did. And here we are today.
Okay, wonderful. So let's get into the meat of the discussion today. And again, we know that we're talking about healthy relationships and how that helps form your self-love and your self-love journey. But before we talk a little bit about healthy relationships, first, let me ask you, and either one of you can answer, what exactly is your thought about what self-love is?
Would you like me to go or would you like to go? You can go first. Okay. So what I would say self-love to me is most definitely taking care of yourself in a relationship. I think that a lot of us get lost in just the relationship itself, and we forget about ourselves. I can admit that I was one who forgot about myself along the journey. And because my goal was to, hey, be everything that I could be for him. But by doing so, I kind of lost myself throughout the journey. So does that mean that, no, does self-love put you in a place of being selfish when it comes to your mate? No, not that. It allows you to take care of yourself so that you're better able to go into that relationship with being open-minded, loving yourself, and also being open and available to offer love to your mate. So, yeah.
And for me, I think the most important thing in regards to self-love is keeping the negative energy away. I think that that's really important for me. My personal space and my energy is valuable, especially at this point in my life. And, just the small things, just enjoying things that I love to do. If it's watch a basketball game or, just being confident, making sure that even though my hair gone now, but I still like to, still look fly. So I make sure I go to the barbershop on a regular basis and get my face done. So, just appreciating who I am and who I become as a 40-year-old man. I think that's probably the most important thing.
That's good. I love that. I'm hearing like remembering what you enjoy doing and being able to do that.
Yes.
In a relationship, I'm hearing like what makes you feel good, you know,
Yes.
and making sure that you do those things. And this wasn't a question, but this happens sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So you talked a little bit about self-love isn't selfish, especially in a relationship. And I can contest of getting lost within a relationship. How would you share with the people that thin line, like where they can like, okay, this is self-love and now I'm getting into being selfish? Because you do have to have that balance and some things you do have to sacrifice. So how do you know what to sacrifice and what is like, okay, now I'm messing with my self-love with too much sacrifice, if I'm clear with the question?
No, that's actually good. And he and I were kind of talking about this earlier. But I will say with that self-love and making sure that you don't lose yourself, it isn't important to identify with that. But as we take care of ourselves, though, however, one of the things that I do when I'm getting a new hairstyle or doing those things that make me feel good, getting my nails done, things of that nature, what I do is I'm most definitely thinking about the time that I'm putting into me. But also I'm thinking about the romantic attraction that I'm setting myself up when it comes to my mate. So it's not, I have him in mind when I'm creating a picture of me. I want him to be able to receive me or to see me as who I am as a woman. And for him to be able to acknowledge that, wow, my wife can look beautiful. She likes to do this and she likes to do that. It helps us also with just, as we change and as time changes, we're always able to familiarize with those different things about he knows that she put a little bit more effort in that, you know. And even when I notice him and when he's done something, every time, like he says, he gets his face shaved. Well, he gets into the car after the barbershop and he kind of waits for me to respond. And so that allows me to not get too far deep into just myself, you know, because I also want to make sure that me looking good, I'm going to do that regardless. But me looking good for him and making sure that it's something that we notice about each other and something that where we want to keep the good energy in our relationship, then that is what I believe refrains me from going just into, oh, it's about me, oh, I look good or whatever, I'm going out with the girls, I'm doing this and that. You can feel those things, but make sure that your mindset is also thinking about, well, I want to look good for him too. You know, I want him to receive me as a beautiful person inside and out. You know, and so also it helps, it supports my character as his wife. So yeah.
And just listening to that, I think as well as we have to think about the impact. So, okay, is it selfish to get your hair and nails done? No, it's not. But I think you have to look at your current situation. Okay, can I afford a 200 hairstyle? I might can't afford that, but look, there's beauty schools. So what can I do that I can still feel good about myself, but also thinking about the whole impact, like financially and things like that. And I think that's how we can also, in relationships, those that are thinking about getting in relationships, those that might currently be in relationships, how is what you're doing going to impact the whole family, impact the relationship? And I love what you said, being intentional. Like when you first meet somebody, you notice everything. You're like, my baby, But ask yourself, am I intentional about noticing things about my mate?
Yes.
Did they go the extra mile I knew they worked all day. I knew they had to do this and they still got up and cooked some meal, or they still did like the things that we take for granted.
Yes.
Like really being intentional about seeing them.
Yes.
That when we see the other person, it helps us not to be selfish as well. And then it's like, okay, if I see them, and if they are doing the same thing about seeing me, I think that just kind of helps the balance as well. You guys.
Agreed.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. And even when you talked about financial things can be tough things when it comes to going to, maybe that person that's watching is saying, well, I can't really afford to look good for him all the time. Well, let me just be plain and be honest that I started in my bathroom. I will develop hairstyles and try new things. And yeah, hey, on a budget. So I'll polish my own nails and, make sure that you're ironing up those good Walmart brands real good. And, and you wear them to the best of your ability. And you have to, that's one thing that, and we'll talk about it later, but I'm big on that inner peace and finding a platform within yourself so that you're able to identify with you and learn to love you daily. So, I'm big on affirmations too. Talk to yourself. I'm looking good despite of whatever. And hey, I can wear a hairstyle. It could be old and I can just retwist it or redo something and it's going to work. So, and then, self-confidence. You have to have that confidence within yourself. And sometimes it takes a while to build it up, especially if it's been affected by relationships. But day by day, it's possible to get better.
Okay, so we're going to dig into some of these other questions.
Okay.
When you think about a healthy relationship, because we hear a lot about, and you can see a lot about traumatic relationships, and a lot of people have been through a lot of traumatic relationships, even traumatic relationships from their parents or other people, which affects their intimate relationships. Yeah. So when you think about a healthy relationship, what does one really look like? Because some people, maybe they're listening to this and they don't have that role model.
Yeah.
And did you guys always have a healthy relationship?
Well, we definitely didn't always have a healthy relationship. But once again, we decided to put the time, energy, and effort in to turn it into a healthy relationship. And for men, I believe that it's pretty simple, for the most part. We like communication, but we might not want to talk all the time. We love peace. So if the household is upside down and there's a war going on, then we can't really function properly. And then, we might want to watch the game or something, just chill and eat good. Like, we real simple. So just allowing your spouse or your boyfriend, whomever, the opportunity to just be able to relax and be in a comfortable environment is just a beautiful thing for us. And and just allow us to be a person that allow us to be able to love you in time the way that we really want to love you, if that makes sense. Because a lot of times we grow up and we talk to where, you a simp, or that ain't slick, or you got to have all the girls and all that. I know I might be sidetracking a little bit, but once you end up getting into a serious relationship and you really want to love this person, but you ain't really been taught how to love them, then it's a due process. But sometimes y'all kind of impatient, which I understand, because you done been there, done that. You don't have time for all that. So you just got to allow us the time to show you the love that we really always wanted to show you, but we never knew how to show you.
And to the point really quick, because you talked about, and I experienced this, and I'm sure other women have, we like to talk, we like to, and I don't want to generalize everyone, but that can be true statement. And you said, like, sometimes men just, they don't want to talk, right? And so what is your advice to the women that may be listening, that they're like, look, we need to talk about this. We need to communicate this, because maybe what they're trying to say is, this isn't healthy right now. This isn't, which causes chaos, which we need peace.
Yes.
And so it's counterproductive, actually, because what I hear you're saying is like, you know what, sometimes we just need that peace, but the woman feels like we're not talking about it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys kind of went through this, and y'all
Sure.
And maybe you can speak to that, but I think that might really help somebody that's listening.
Yeah. Well, I think that we most definitely have gone through those times where I am an alpha female, so I'm talking a lot and I have a lot of things to say. And of course, being emotional does not mean that that's a bad trait for us,
Very true.
So we can be emotional and we can be just drawn into our emotions because, yes, we do want answers. And if you've been in a relationship with a person for quite some time, then you do seek for certain information after a while, which is real. Like, I need an explanation as to why we're not talking or why we're in this difficult situation and we're not moving forward. Well, there has to come a time where the approach, and
It's very
speaking
important.
of I am his peace, it's the approach. I had to learn that there is a time and a place for everything. And you also will, have to identify with knowing which battles to fight and which ones are not necessarily as important as others in certain times. And so I think that the biggest thing is that approach. And if something has festered for so long, the approach can be a difficult one. But I think that the best thing is just kind of, coaching yourself throughout the process, making it a time where maybe we want to talk about. And then, too, we can't lay everything on the table, ladies. Everything can't be laid on the table all at once. It will not get the job done. You won't get the answers that you are wanting to get. And sometimes you just won't get those answers anyway, because a man is going to give it to you the way that they're receiving it. They're going to give it out. They're going to spit it out the way that they're receiving it. Like, okay, this is what I feel. But I think that we have to, like with Terrell and I'll just sit back and I'll just say, but honey, we need to talk about this. I'm not trying to cause problems for you, but we're stuck in a place where we just can't get out, and if we're talking about, we have a goal that we're going to keep moving forward and we're going to make it through these hard times, then it takes two to tango. We both need to communicate, but also, ladies, if they come out and they say what they need to say and they finally open up to you, then what happens is now you take that information and you allow it to marinate before you go climbing up the tree for more information, and just take it for what it is. And then you can work. You have something to work with, to move forward with.
Yes, that's so good. And I think too is, for some people this might work with, you know what? I know that right now might not be a good time watching the game.
Yeah.
Come on, let's be real.
Right.
But this has been going on. Can we schedule what time will work for both of us to be clear mind? And don't be mad if it's not today. Maybe it's tomorrow.
That's right.
But you'll get better results by working as a team versus saying my demands need to be addressed right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And if I can say this too, and not every woman that's going to watch this or that is watching this will be a woman that is, hey, I'm gonna get on my knees and pray about it.
That's true.
But I'll tell you, I've spent a lot of days in my prayer closet because I knew that I hadn't got to that point of where I was able to come to him in a calm way. Everything was this battle on the inside. I'm on a roller coaster ride of emotions. So I didn't know how. So in situations like that, we got into arguments, and there were things that we couldn't settle because it was just too much. The storm was too big. And so somebody needs to step away if they can. It doesn't have to just be the woman in the relationship. The male as well. Like, hey, if you need to pray about it, you need to pray about it. Just so you can kind of get a clear head and be able to come back with the proper way and the proper energy, especially with that person that you love and that you value and that you respect, and they feel the same about you.
Okay, so now again, as you all know, we are here on Self-Love Saturday, and the next question I want to ask you guys directly deals with self-love. So, in a relationship like you guys have, can your mate really help you discover, define, feel that self-love, that self-worth, or how can a relationship even help cultivate that more?
You want to go ahead and answer?
Ladies first.
Ladies first. Okay, ladies first. Well, what I would say about that, that's a really good question. First of all, it's a really good question. And when it comes to, let me look at it again because
And I do have a comment.
I'm gonna
And I'm
slide
gonna tell
in.
you why you have something going.
Good.
Sure.
Please help your wife. Helping me.
Now, now all my answers are gonna be kind of simplistic compared to yours.
No, it's
but-
okay.
All right, we need this.
All right. So I believe that it absolutely does help because my wife, she knows my strength and she knows my weaknesses. So she knows when I'm up, she knows when I'm down. And even if I'm not explaining that to her, expressing that to her, she knows. So she'd say, baby, I know something wrong with you. I don't feel like talking about it. Baby, I know something wrong with you. So she understands what I need when I need it. And she understands when to fall back and relax when I don't need it. So, but once again, that goes back to time, energy, and effort, because if we didn't spend this quality time together, she wouldn't know what I need or what I don't need, or to push me in a certain direction, or to have me pull back at that specific time. So she is my perfect balance and my perfect piece. So it definitely works out.
That
so
is a
sweet.
great answer too.
It is.
When you're intentional about knowing your mate, you pay attention to that.
Yeah.
And you will know if your mate responds to words of affirmation, or if your mate responds to physical touch, or whatever
Sure.
that your mate needs, that is going to make them feel better and confident in that moment. And what I was going to share, the reason why I even asked this question is because I knew of a couple that they both kind of had like low self-esteem, but then when they got together, it was like they balanced each other out because they were like each other's biggest cheerleader.
Wow.
And now it can go the other way. It could be toxic if it's not like a healthy relationship, but because they both were intentional and they loved each other and they would speak life. You know, I don't want to get preachy, but I can. They would speak life into each other. And so it's like together they were better. So I really think like when you are intentional, like you said, and you are determined to fight for the relationship, you pay attention to, no, my mate, something that is not going on right with them. And I know them. And therefore, because I know them, I know how to feed them.
And you know what? I can honestly say this too, because now I'm backtracking in my memory. But Terrell has most definitely helped me to tone down in a sense of where I say this, being able to sit next to your partner at peace or in quiet does not deem you
Voiceless.
yeah, that's it, but it's a different word, but thank you. Powerless. So me being able, because I had to learn, I had to learn that there is a proper etiquette when it comes to those relationships that you see that have been together over so many years, because there has been like a form of etiquette that has been presented before their relationship. And so with that etiquette, now we learn our mates. I learned that, oh yeah, you see how we flow nicely together. We've had to be in practice. We've had to go through some things. We've had to face some challenges. And so it was even a time where when I wanted him to say something, and well, you know, when God was teaching me how to control my tongue, and God would tell me, don't you say nothing. And I'm like, well, how you want me to deal with the shenanigans, God, and you just don't want me to say nothing? Well, it was a great lesson because it allowed me to really, those answers that I felt like I didn't have when it came to my husband, I received those answers by learning how to humble myself. And so without the humbling, all I was doing was just over talking. And not saying that what I was saying wasn't of importance, but what I really wanted to do was I wanted to find out how he was feeling on the inside. And I was unable to figure it out until I learned how to humble myself.
There's so much power in being quiet, because in your stillness, there's, like you said, it's appropriate time and place for everything. But in your stillness and in the quietness, you actually are listening to receive
Most
versus
definitely.
listening to respond.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, especially when we get in our emotions, and especially when we know, let's just be honest, we know that we're in the right.
Yeah.
Like, this is foolishness,
Yeah.
this is whatever. I have to say my point. But fight your battles. You said that.
Fight your
Everything
battles.
doesn't have to be a battle.
Mm-mm.
Everything doesn't have to be a war. Pick and choose, and then choose when to be quiet. So you know what? I might actually come out on the other side
Yeah.
if I learn how to be quiet sometimes and listen to my mate and not always have to have the last word or be right. Because at the end, it's not about me being the right. It's about us winning together.
There you go.
And if I have to be right all the time or you have to be right all the time, somebody's going to lose.
Yeah.
And we're supposed
Yeah.
to win. We made a covenant here.
That's right.
And so what's more important, your covenant or being right?
That's right.
And so y'all talking
Yeah.
good. Y'all so good. I'm just enjoying this. And you guys,
I'm happy.
It's time for our little break to say thank you to our sponsors. And so we would not be here today with these wonderful film people just taking care of us. Power forward. Yes. And so just take this moment to say thank you to our sponsors.
This broadcast is sponsored by Reed's New Golden Gate Funeral Home. If you care enough to give your loved one the very best, call Reed's New Golden Gate Funeral Home. It is our mission to care for the funeral and cremation needs of your family. We offer cremation, burial, and entombment services. Excellence is our minimum standard because we serve every family as our own. Our family serving your family, that's Reed's New Golden Gate Funeral Home. Allow us to meet your needs today. We have 3 locations to serve you. 5665 North Titonia in Milwaukee, 1910 Taylor Avenue in Racine, a House of Branch at 3125 West Roosevelt in Chicago.
Welcome back. Yes, we love our sponsors and we love you too. So thank you guys for joining us back. I hope you're enjoying this conversation today. I am. Look, I'm going to watch this again and take some notes because, you know, I'm into the conversation. But look, I'm growing. Iron sharpens iron. I am learning a few things because Miss will be Mrs. one day, and I'm
Better
ready.
say it.
Okay, I'm
You better
speaking
say
it.
it.
Hey, speak those things.
Yeah.
Hey, into existence. So it is good learning here today, guys. So I hope that you are growing with us. So, Terrell, does a man need something different in a relationship to help cultivate it and grow, versus like what a woman might need from your perspective?
And you're asking in regards to from the spouse, right? Well, I would say that everybody's situation is probably different. For me personally, I feel like my wife and I definitely needed different things. I feel like I needed different things than her because she's more emotional, and she's more, her personality is bigger, and I'm more chill, laid back, reserved. And so, yeah, I believe that we definitely need different things. You slide in and help me on now,
I'm gonna help
baby.
you out. It's okay. So as far as what I would need from you is, you know, I need you to be listening with intentions.
Instead of
I
listening to
need
respond.
compliments, you know, right. I need trust. You know, I need to make sure that I want to feel sexy sometimes. So, you know, so make sure that you saying some things to me that makes me feel sexy. You know, like those are some things that I need from you that I can't get from anybody else. So those are the things that, as far as the cultivating, what is it that you need from me that is just, hey, this is what I need from you in order for me to be able to fulfill my position as your husband properly.
Okay. So your love and affection, your touch is phenomenal. It's calming, and it relaxes me and allows me to feel like, you know, things are going to be smoother than smoother than smooth, even if it's already smooth. So yeah, things of that nature.
So how often and how soon should those that are in a relationship or in a marriage, how often should they start? Like, I love what you guys just did. That was so powerful. How often should they have these kind of dialogues of, what do you need from me? How often and how soon?
I would say, I think from the beginning, Terrell and I were just big on like complimenting, and he would always be complimenting me of you know, you look nice in that, your hair looks nice, I see this, I see that. And so with even like engaging, because some people may not feel comfortable if they haven't been doing this already, we may start off with, have a good day at work. You know, how was your day at work?
Sure.
You know, something that is kind of light. And I think that even for a person that's dating, that it's okay to see about that person that you are dating, that person that shows you value, and you're able to do the same. As far as, like I said, respect, those type of things, that's important, because you just don't want to just kind of throw your pearls to swine, should I say. And even those relationships that may be complicated, most definitely, there's still a way to engage. And it can just start off with something small, just like what my husband says, a touch, you know. And I think that it should start off, especially if you are coming into a situation where you and that person are coming into, maybe it's getting a little bit more serious. So if it's been 6 months to a year, whatever, and then two, just letting yourself be you. So if you are a caring person and you care about the needs of others, then it comes off regardless. But the intentional part is because, yes, I'm concerned about how your day was. You know, when you leave out, I want you to have a great day, you know, and even through a text message or whatever, even when you're married for quite some time and maybe you guys have lost that sense of caring or taking care of each other when it comes to just having a conversation, a text message, you know, somewhere in the middle of the day, baby, how your day going? You know, and just to start taking small steps. And as far as how often, I think daily is okay, you know, because it needs to feel, being at home with your significant other, there should be a place of, like my husband says, that calm. It should be a place of peace. So we should know that we've actually created that. We created that environment by, how was your day? Did you eat? Or are you hungry? Okay, that's fine. And there's nothing wrong, ladies, being submissive to your husband. And especially when he values you, respects you, makes time for you, and vice versa. You know, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, that's good. I think that I love that talking daily, daily reaching out to your mate, and it doesn't have to be heavy. Everything starts off small anyway. Yeah. So and even those that may be watching that feels like, you know what, the high of the emotions in the relationship is gone. But be intentional about, did you marry them because you were high in emotions? Exactly. Or did you marry them because you decided to love them?
There you go.
And so in the decision to love them, I'm going to decide to fight for this, which means, you know what? I may not have all the answers of how to build it back up, but I do know how to speak. I do know how to be kind. I do know how to be considerate. So let me start doing those things again with my mate. That's right. Today is the day that I decide that I'm going to win in my marriage. I'm really like pushing this because I feel like there's an agenda against marriage. I'm just not going to go on my soapbox, but I really feel like there's an agenda against it almost. And I'm like, marriages can work if two people decide they want to make it work.
And there it is. And you know, that's it. It's a decision. Every day, even in our non-romantic relationships, you have to make a decision to call Lanice and say, well, how was your day? How you been doing? We have to step out and we have to approach those people that we love and those people that we care about. So yeah, marriage is not it's not a virus. But it can most definitely go viral if love and the proper approaches are put there. And these are what we're sharing are most definitely, they're tools though. You know, if you are writing something down, these are great tools to go back and revisit these tools so that you can take these and work them out through your relationship.
And one more thing I'm gonna add to this before I go to the next question is, you know, we set goals for everything else, like in our life. I think that there's nothing wrong with doing this daily, like the little things, but also like if we do New Year's resolutions, why not start a new tradition within your relationship? Like, well, every New Year's or every 6 months, we're gonna do a deep dive. A deep dive. What do you need from me as your mate? Just like you guys did here, but you set the intention out. So you're starting off slow. That way you can lead, especially if you guys have not been in that vein. Start off slow and then lead like, honey, I want to do something, or the gentleman, however you would say it. You know, I want to start something new because we chose each other.
That's right.
So I want to continue to choose you.
That's right.
And I need to know how I need to show up for you.
Yeah.
And I want to share with you in a space where we both feel safe and it's not attacking. We're just having a conversation and we're sharing what we need from each other. And then y'all set that tradition. So then y'all already know, especially, and this will be good if y'all are having rocky times, because you kept a commitment and then you can show up for each other. Because you know what? I know this time is coming. And we're going to get to show up and really be present with each other.
That's right. That's
and
right.
So, what has loving your mate taught you about yourself?
Oh, my God. Goodness, that sometimes what the saying is, when the tough get going, the tough get going. You know, people go, but I learned to stand. I learned to stand long enough to be able to see a wonderful man. Like, you know, we were able to withstand some storms, but to stand long enough, knowing that neither one of us are perfect. There's no two perfect people that come into a relationship. So with finding a space and being open to understanding that he's not perfect, neither am I. But it turned me into more of a woman that was able to, even like today, if I wouldn't have continued on this journey with my husband, had we not decided that we wanted to continue on this journey despite of what we had gone through, there would be no book. There would be no Yasmina and Terrell sitting here with Lanice. You know, there would be no story to tell. There would be no encouragement to give had we not made that decision. And it has, Yaz, the wife coach, was birthed through this. Brilliance for the Bride was birthed through this. I Am His Peace was birthed through this. Accomplishing the goal of going back to school and getting my bachelor's degree and coming out with magna cum laude came through trouble, but through this. And so all of these great things have been manifested, and I'm able to be a better wife for him. I had to learn to be still. So, yeah.
We got to do your.
I'm trying to tell you.
And as for me, it's just more so the fact of being able to love another woman outside of my mother or my sister or my daughters as they become young ladies. Somebody that is not, of my lineage, but God blessed me and allowed me for us to be able to come together, to be able to create lineage, and just to know that He allowed you to become my best friend. And so I think that's the most important thing for me.
That's so beautiful. Man, I have so many questions and it's almost time to go. So this always happens. That's because y'all good, and then I started asking other questions. But okay, what is one thing that has blown your mind about each other that made you know through thick or thin this was the one?
Just how strong-minded she is. You know, I've always been attracted to strong-mindedness, and they say it's cliche, but I don't know. But they always say a man marries his mother. But my mother was like she's one of the strongest women I've ever met in my life, and so are you. And so, you know, outside of just the natural beauty and our flow and our vibe, just when Mina puts her mind to something, it comes out and it manifests. And, you know, that motivates me to go after my goals and dreams and continue to accomplish some things of that nature.
I love the fact that you was ready. He was ready, honey. He was ready.
He was ready. He like, Yes. That's awesome. Can you repeat it? The question
Yes.
however.
Actually, I think that was good. We're not going because I want to get another question in. Okay. So, what about the people who are watching today who are struggling to allow love from their mate because they have been hurt or been through some things? What words of wisdom would you share with them today?
All yours, baby.
Okay. Well, what I would share with you today, if you are the woman watching who has gone through challenges and struggles in relationships, let me tell you, it's okay. It doesn't make you a person that's not able to go back into the forefront of dating, or even if you're married in the midst of something, doesn't mean that you still can't heal. There is an opportunity to still heal. And that starts with, like the topic today, it's okay to self-love. And I think that when we find ourselves or understand that we are worthy of love and being loved, and we are worthy of forgiveness, we are worthy of having a great relationship with the person that values us and that person that we value. Me personally, let me just go and be real about mine. I'm just a woman that stays on my knees. And because sometimes even with my strength does not come by just me being me. My strength, unfortunately, has come by way of things that didn't turn out right and things that I had to press for. And I wasn't willing to give up or give in. So therefore, you can make it. God can help. He can help a lot. Your perspective of yourself and those maybe a bad relationship, it doesn't have to always be like that. Forgive yourself and move forward. It's okay. Things happen. We're not perfect people. And for people who say, man, it may be a little bit more complicated than that. Well, guess what? I am one that believes in counseling and coaching. And I think that professional counseling, marital counseling, or even relationship counseling, that's a must, and it's okay. Sometimes it's not always good to sit around the table with your girlfriends and talk about your personal things. And this is no strike against those relationships with your girlfriends, because those can be good too. But if we can't sit at the table, even when it comes to guys, it's okay to have healthy communication and understand when it's your time to get up from the table. Okay, so I am and I have a tool here also. But forgive yourself. It's okay. Move on. You can heal. Give yourself permission to heal. You can heal, and it's okay. I had to heal. And by doing so, there were great rewards with me allowing myself to forgive myself, to forgive the person, and know how to move forward to heal.
Okay. Now, I was finna ask my last question, my second to last question, but you said something, so I had to throw one more in there.
Okay.
So, because I hear like women like post about this, like behold, and like maybe you can meet a mate, that you have to like be this certain kind of way. So, do you subscribe to you need to be healed and whole before you actually meet a mate? Or what is your thought about that?
Well, I think it most definitely has to be as far as your journey to healing. Have you started it? Are you in the midst of it? We have to also understand that maybe we may be too fragile for dating, or we may be too fragile to go into anything, because when you get in a relationship with a person, you become responsible of that person as well as being responsible for yourself. And when I say that is because if you're opening up conversation of making this a bigger situation and making it, hey, we want to start dating or whatever, now I'm responsible. There's some responsibility that's left on the table. So I want to make sure that I don't take my woundedness, if that's a word, and set on the table with a man that most definitely can have great intentions, want to do something great, and I know that I'm not there yet. I need time to heal. And you have to know you. You have to know you. Am I at the point of where now maybe I'm not healed 100% and I'm still seeing some things, or I still got trust issues, or whatever the situation may be, then maybe you need to take a pause. And it's okay. That doesn't mean that you're still not a good pick. It doesn't mean that there's still not men that are interested in you. It doesn't mean that you're allowing something to pass you by. You just need to take care of yourself so that self-love speaks volumes when you're able to accept that I'm loving on me so that I can build me up, but I'm also able to give some of all of what I've produced on the inside, and I can share with the mate.
That's good. And I just want to add that I think it's not perfection. So don't look at it that you have to be this perfected whole with no past trauma and things in order to meet your mate or things like that. Because I think that no matter who we get with, there is going to be something that a person is journeying through to get to the other side. And sometimes it's your mate that it will help you through that journey.
Yes.
But I think what we have to do is be real with ourselves. Am I in a space that I'm open to even heal?
Yeah.
Am I in a space, sometimes we don't know we need healing, but am I in a space is if I meet somebody and they expose something to me, am I open to receiving?
That's right.
And so I think that's the mindset to carry on versus, this thing that you have to be whole and perfect.
No, you don't.
Because there is no wholeness. There's no perfect person. I think we're constantly becoming better every day.
Yeah.
And sometimes you will meet the right mate to help you along that journey. But I think too, even as we are meeting people, and even in a marriage, if you see something that's going on, am I the person that's called to this, or do I need to release this and they need professional help, or they need this or that?
Yeah.
We're no one's savior either. So
that's right.
I think it's just really being open and aware and knowing, like you said, when this was about the girlfriend, but I think to supply it when to get up. And release some things. So the reason why, one of the really original reasons why I had the Carols come here is because I personally know Yasmina, and she's just amazing, right? I met her back through Brilliance of the Bride, and everything that you embody has always been about building healthy relationships.
Yeah.
Building healthy, and then you trust God through it all. And no matter what you was going through, you still had the faith to encourage others as you were fighting for yourself and your own. And I admire that and I honor that, And so I'm like, you guys are the perfect couple to talk about this, because one, you're in the race, you're still in it, and you're transparent and you're real. And again, you have always been about not just the woman, but the whole family. And then the fact that your whole family is a part of this, even down to the baby, everybody ain't the baby no more. Right. Everybody, you just see that and you embody that. And then, of course, we want to talk a little. Of course, the second reason is because I'm like, and I have my copy, so you know what? Y'all need to get y'all, because I'm telling you, again, this is good for I Am His Piece is the name of it. I'll let you talk a little bit about this, but I'm like, wow, if we can just take some of these skills, learn them, apply them in preparation, or like right now while you're in it, and stop worrying about the other person. What are you doing to be the peace? Your home is your castle. Do you want to come home to a tornado? Why would anybody else?
Yes.
And so I want to just tell us. I mean,
No,
because
it's
again,
good.
we're doing all this talking and everything, and this is good. You can come back and listen. But I love to have resources. I love to have something to go back to. This is like the tangible you. You also can get coaching and stuff too. But wherever your financial status is, you can get some help. Once you decide.
Yes, once you
everything
decide.
is a decision.
Yes, it is.
So share a little bit about his peace.
Woo, woo. So, and thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm dropping myself. All of what comes out of your mouth and others' mouths, I sit back because one thing I can say is, yes, I was given the journey, and I look at all of this as, I was given the assignment to be the one to stand in these type of situations. And so I'm so humbled. I'm so humbled. And just to be here to just give people tools, because I lack tools. And I watched my grandmother and my grandfather have a wonderful relationship. And I learned that even throughout their time. I watched them be a little younger, get older, and but I saw their commitment to each other. On the other side of things, I saw relationships that were not so put together. And I watched hurt and pain and all of those different things. And when it came down to the book, I was at a point in our relationship that where I went back to thinking about what all I wanted to be for my husband before the storm came.
Ooh, that was so good. Come on.
So I thought about all the things that I wanted to be for my husband before the storm came. Because those storms can send off so much debris. Yeah. And from rain, sleet, snow, hail, whatever may be in your relationship and your experiences, yours won't be like mine, but we most definitely can probably chit chat at the table and say we have some similarities in our experiences. But however, that blowing debris, I had to understand that it was just that blowing debris, but it wasn't my destiny. It wasn't what I desired for my husband and I. And so once we found a place of where we were able to, reconcile and find things and in a position where we can still move forward, I've always, struggled with just, being heard, being misunderstood. A lot of us women feel that way. Being heard, being misunderstood, but a lot of me just being so strong. And I come from women that have loud voices and they carry and all this and that. But I learned that it was for a reason. That my voice carries to touch many. It carries for a reason. And I had to understand that was nothing wrong with it, but those things that was on the inside of me there had to be some critiquing. And I had to learn how to come to the table with it in a calming manner. And so when I decided, or I found that I just want to be his peace. I don't want to be fussing and I don't want to say things that don't make him feel good. And I don't want him to say things to me that doesn't make me feel good. Well, how do I capture this? How am I still positioned to be his peace and be okay with that? I had to make a decision. And so when I Am His Peace came about, however, it's funny how it came about. A friend of mine, we were discussing doing an event together. She happens to make candles. It's called Candle Freak. She bakes candles, and we were talking about doing an event together. I'm like, oh yeah, girl, let me just write something up. So I started writing something up. And with my writing, I started in my phone writing, and I'm just writing. And this was 2019, and I was just writing. And I had got to a point where I got to a certain amount of words, and it just was sounding good. And I was making sure too that I was reading what I had written down, because I wanted him to understand, and he probably doesn't know that really, but I wanted to make sure that he knew that I was trying to find him. I wanted to find him, and I wanted to be able to find him in a way that where I can be his peace. I'm not God. I can't fix all of those things. That's not what it is. But it's almost close to like if you read into the virtuous woman or the virtuous wife, and there were certain things that she had to uphold and certain things that she did in her position. And I wanted to make sure that whatever I was doing, because I know that I can either a woman can build her house up or tear her house down. I wanted to build it up, and I wanted to build him up. Has there been perfection? No. But I am his peace it turned into a guide for women to be able to take hold to these insightful ways. 12 weeks of insightful ways for becoming your mate's peace. And day to day, you read and you grow. You read and you grow. And I give tools for, I give a note to her in here. I talk about the relationship goal that you should focus on weekly. I give examples of, hey, what it looks like when things are going haywire, or, what things we should be doing. There's a week where I talk about speak less and listening more, and I was that one. I had to learn to speak less and listen more. And it turns out beautifully. So with I am his peace, it is most definitely choosing peace over war in relationships. Choosing that I want to get out of this rut. Because the thing about this is that if we don't find, because it was women that I spoke to, and I would tell them the title of the book, well, I am his peace. Well, why ain't my peace? Well, that's where we go wrong. That's where we go wrong. And not everybody is ready for these stages. Not everybody is ready. Because you have to come to a certain point in you and in your relationship. And it is good if both parties agree. But however, even if you're working on you, that being his peace, because guess what? You may just gonna stay with him anyway. You're gonna stay with him regardless. So why not learn things that are going to increase you and could very well increase your relationship with your mate?
That is so good. How can I'm gonna make a comment real quick, then I want you to share how people can get the book and connect with both of you. But something you said, I'm just not gonna forget that. Like, what did you want to be before the storm came, right? Yeah. What did you want to be to him? And so I ask all you that are in relationships, even if you're starting a relationship, even if you're thinking about, what you want in a relationship, what is it that you want to be? Write that down now. Yeah. Look at that and then ask yourself, am I that?
That's right.
What can I do to get back to this space? What barriers have I allowed to become more important than the person that I said I love?
That's so good.
Because that's really what happens. This bill is more important than the person I love.
That's right.
Or them staying out or doing what is more important than the person I love. So because I have to get my point across, he needs to be my peace versus me being his.
Yeah, like yeah.
So what's more important? What do you value more? I value the relationship that I chose.
That's it.
And so I love this. This is so good. And everybody is not ready. Mm-hmm. But I pray that even if you're not, you get it and you start reading.
Yes.
Because sometimes, just like a kid, you train up them, they won't depart.
That's
you keep
right.
Putting something in you. Guess what? Eventually, hopefully it'll sink in.
Yes.
and it'll go right. And something else you said, like, what if they're not ready? I'm going to tell you this. A person can't argue by themselves.
That's right.
If you change, that person is going to see it change.
Most definitely.
They're going to start seeing the person that was their peace before that storm came.
That's right. That's right.
And they're not going to be able to deny it because that's who they fell in love with. And guess what? They still love you.
That's good.
They still love
That's
you. And
good.
so I'm this was good, you guys.
It has
and this
been
is just restored
great.
my hope and love.
Oh, yeah.
Thank y'all.
That's
So,
good. That's good.
Let the people know how they can reach you, how they can get a copy. Y'all need to get a copy of this book. I don't want to say you signed mine, but I don't know if you signed everybody's, but you need to get a copy of this book.
Okay. Well, actually, you can find me on the social media platforms. Yasmina Carroll on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram as Yaz the Wife Coach. I'm also on LinkedIn as Yaz the Wife Coach. You can also find me as Yasmina Carroll as well. And I'm working on some other great things. If you want to purchase a copy of my book, you can DM me for more details. I am accepting different ways as far as payment is concerned. And if you're looking for a Cash App option, I am $YASCARR. Again, that's $YASCARR. And if you just want to get right in personal and get in my email, you can email me at Carol Yasmina. That's CARROLLYASMINA @gmail.com. And I'll respond that way as well. So I look forward to it. I believe that this tool is going to be a tool that is most definitely going to change your perspective of you and your relationship, and also help you to pour into your mate. So, yeah.
Starting with you, final words. Any final words, closing remarks, examples and actions, words of encouragement,
Sure.
whatever you want to leave with the people today.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, I want to say that I appreciate you allowing us to have this opportunity to sit down with you. And more so, I'm just here supporting my wife. And, I said I was going to slide in and say some words if they came up and if they came out right. But as for me, I really want the men to understand that it's impossible for the women to be our peace if we not being their peace. And so my wife got the shirt made.
Yes, I am her peace.
Yes.
And that goes back to the beginning.
And
I am his peace. If we both are focusing on each other, that's
Right.
that selfless love.
That's
Yes.
right.
Yes. Yes.
Go ahead, baby.
Y'all better represent on here today.
We representing. Seriously. Yeah.
Closing words.
Well, I'll first and foremost buy the book. It's only $21, $21, and it's packed. Do you hear me? Packed with
That's right.
great information, great tools, something that you can use day to day. And as soon as you open it, you can definitely start going right into building a healthier relationship, as well as engaging with that self-love. And don't give up on you. Don't give up on the possibilities of finding love, reconnecting with love. If you're married, you can fall back in love. I'm just impressed by the way that there can be moments of falling out of love and moments of finding it all over again and it feeling just new. And it's a miraculous thing to me. It's magical. But don't give up on you. There is still time. You can get into a dating relationship. Your marriage can survive. And again, especially when it comes to those individuals that you value, that's a big thing. We just don't want to throw all of our good things to someone that doesn't value us and we don't value them. That value is big in a relationship. And I think that we see each other differently when it's intentional. So thank you, Lanice. It's been wonderful. It's been wonderful.
And I'm going to add to that book. And you said it's $21. And I want to say, I'm just saying this, and I'm not just saying it. It's a good book. It's valuable. But the thing about it is we spend money on every $21.
Right.
It's nothing. worth the value of your relationship, you know? And so I'm going to promote those things that I know are valuable,
Yeah.
which is why I asked you guys to be, it wasn't just because of the book, it's because of your life. And because of your life, you have the book.
I appreciate
And so
that. Thank you.
I'm going to share with you, I'm going to encourage this. Get the book. How valuable is your relationship? How valuable is the future of your relationship? Go ahead and prepare yourself to be ready for that which you keep asking for. Go ahead and push yourself for that which you committed to already.
Mm-hmm.
And so anything worth having is worth the investment. It's worth the investment.
It is.
And $21 is not even
$21 is not big.
change your life forever.
Yeah.
I've read books. I've seen things that literally one moment, one word can change your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know that this book can be that. And honey, if you have peace in your house,
I'm trying to tell
more
you.
loving, more
I'm
everything.
trying to tell you.
Hey, glory.
It's gonna work
It's
out.
gonna all work
Yeah,
out.
it's gonna work out.
So we always end our broadcast with our self-love affirmation, and today is no different. So I need you to go ahead and grab your mirrors, okay?
Yes.
Yay. And anytime you hear me say my name, which is Lanice, you say your own. I think I only say it once anyway. Let's get ready to do this. So look at yourself and say your name, Lanice.
Yes, Mina.
I love you.
I love you.
There is nothing you can do about it.
Mm-hmm.
You are fearfully and wonderfully made. Self-love is a part of your destiny. So again, my name is Lanice McGee with Lanice Leads. This has been our self-love journey for this month. Thank you for taking this journey with me, and I look forward to seeing you real soon. Be blessed.